Hello and welcome to today's May 19th Stimulus Check Update. If you're a subscribed member of my community, welcome back. If you're not, subscribe right now so I can keep you updated and share other smart money tips. All right, well, it looks like Fed Chairman Jerome Powell and Treasury Secretary Mnuchin have finished testifying to the Senate about the state of the nation. I saw this as a mini State of the Union. All the data and reports I've been sharing with you over the last week have now been presented to the Senate. Some key takeaways, starting with Treasury Secretary Mnuchin. Mnuchin said one should never have to give their lives in order to increase the GDP. He was pressed hard by a senator from Ohio about whether they are just reopening in order to have GDP. And again, he said no one should have to give their life to increase the GDP. He stressed that the economy and businesses will be opened safely and in an orderly manner. One interesting tidbit that struck me at least was one of the reasons why there is this wait and see approach by the Senate. Mnuchin pointed out that the majority of the original CARES Act money has not even been released into the economy yet. This means that over $1 trillion that has been assigned by the federal government has not trickled down into the economy. This would be things like the PPP and the EIDL and the larger unemployment benefits. That money is still there and set aside, but has not been released. So for me at least, I thought that was kind of interesting. So do I agree with that or not? No, but I at least understand why there's this wait and see, because it's not like all that money has dried up, right? It just is waiting to be dispersed and released. I mean, heck, of the 30 million, many of you are still trying to get your unemployment with the larger PUA of $600 a week. So this money will help small businesses when it is time to reopen. This money will help people on unemployment until the economy is reopened. Mnuchin said the Treasury is not afraid to spend more money to save the economy if more money is needed. However, they don't want to just spend unnecessarily. One last item of interest before I move on to Jerome Powell of the Federal Reserve. Mnuchin mentioned that with rates as low as they are, the federal government is actually in the process of refinancing much of its debt in order to accommodate the additional debt it will most likely have to take on. I thought that was really interesting that the federal government is in the process of refinancing, right? They're doing a big refi. The big reason that the United States is trying to avoid more debt is not that it hates its citizens. It's the fact that the only country willing to lend it the large $1 trillion money that it needs is China. There's tension with China, right? The coronavirus is linked to China. So I can see from that standpoint why they would not want to be beholden to China for additional money. Mnuchin touched lightly on the generous additional money for those that qualify for unemployment. That extra money is meant to help Americans out of work during the lockdown, not give them incentive to stay at home. Once the economy reopens, if you refuse to go back to your old job, your unemployment could be taken away. If an employer offers you back your old job and you refuse, that business is under obligation to let the unemployment office know that you have rejected a perfectly good job. This ensures that no one sits home collecting checks when they could be back at work. Jerome Powell of the Federal Reserve testified on many points of data that we have covered, so I don't want to belabor the point. Powell pointed out that he believes if more action is not taken, that the U.S. will not fully recover from the lockdown until the end of 2021. So 18 months to recover, not 5 or 6 months like we've been hearing. Powell questioned whether enough was being done for the people. The Fed has helped handle large companies and small companies by keeping credit options liquid, but he reminded the Senate that the Fed cannot spend money, only lend money. He said, "This is the biggest shock we've seen in living memory. The question that looms in the air is it enough? More information will be shared tomorrow. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like so that YouTube will share it with others, and please share this on Facebook. I hope you enjoyed the blooper video from earlier when my son jumped out of the closet and scared me. I questioned whether to put it up because I wanted to remain professional, but I decided that my community could probably use a laugh and a smile at my expense, and I don't mind because I love my community. Hey, I do appreciate you being in my community. I hope you found this helpful. I'll see you on the next video.